1927, Universal Pictures came out with the spinning globe as their logo, and no one had been to space to see what the Earth was until 1972 when the first photo was taken, and it happens to match perfectly.
Jim Breuer.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer.
Everything he's got. I love this stuff. I'm stoked. All right. Mikey, it's good to see you. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm very good. So I want everyone, listen, we did this once before, especially all you bunkers. I mean, I guess technically this could be a bunker. Technically, this is a bunker. Maybe I should get my glasses, but listen. We have questions at the end, so I don't want everyone to sit there and go, well, yeah, of course, you just sat there and listened. I'm open to everything. I'm starting to discover there's so much of history that makes zero sense. There's so many people showing facts and all that, and as the world starts growing up and figuring things, and I want you all to be just for entertainment, even if you don't believe it, just for entertainment value, to sit and listen. You know, if you want to hate it. Go have a beer, take a hit, or put your degree right here and go, my degree will put, I'm smart, whatever you want to define yourself as. You're willing to watch politics? You're willing to watch everything that's going on, but you won't, at least for entertainment value, just listen. Just listen. You may be driving somewhere right now. You're a truck driver, or you're on a long trip. You're dropping your kid off at college or whatever it is, and you're like, this will keep you going. This conversation today is going to keep you motivated and inspired, whether you like it or hate it. And that's all I'm asking you to do is hang in there, and just listen. You can disagree, you could do whatever, but I think it's time we snap out of it and just start listening. So we have Flat Earth Dave Weiss here.
I'm excited. Can I say a few things about what you were just talking about?
Yeah, of course.
So you told your story of, hey, when someone wants to bring Flat Earth on, you're like, no, I'll listen to anything. I'm a comedian. I'll listen to anything. That's one step too far. We all have the exact same story. I was doing a conspiracy podcast about all the deceptions in the world, and people started sending me Flat Earth stuff, and I'm like, nope. Just watch this 1 minute video, you idiot. And I'm like, nope, not going to watch a 1 minute video. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. And then my good friend, Sophia Smallstorm, she's like, Dave, you got to look at this. And she sent me some stuff, and I started watching it. And I'm like, I went in with a bad attitude. I went in, I'm going to debunk Flat Earth and make you guys look like idiots and be done with this nonsense. And here I am. I quit I had my own business, making tons of money. I walked away from it all to spread this message. And one of the things that's going to happen during the show, to any of you that hang in here and listen and don't just turn it off, Breuer's lost his mind, he's talking about Flat Earth. By the end, at one point, you're going to go, well, why? Why would they lie? Why would they lie?
Well,
that's the best question of all. We're going to save that for the end.
Okay. So what I have, where I'm going with this, all right, is I'm not smart. I didn't enjoy school. I hated school. I didn't listen to anyone. So
you're not stupid. It's stupid.
That's a funny shirt. Okay. Where do you want to go? Tell me.
We'll go, and then you'll just jump in. So here's a balloon, 120,000 feet in the air. That's about as high as we can get. And every time we send a balloon up this height, the sun's right there. It's like it's never above us. Like that's only 20 miles, right? And there's a hot spot here, right? It's not as bright over here. How is the sun 93 million miles away and only lighting up that spot, right? I got a flashlight here. And if I light my hand up, it lights up the whole hand. I'm 93 miles away. But if I was close, it's got a hot spot right there.
You know what? You know what drives me crazy, and I don't know if this is I do this my way. Where a couple years ago, I think I was down here in Naples, Florida. The sun was rising,
Okay.
but the moon was still up.
Yep.
And the angle where the moon was, and I see this a lot. Like, why is that part of the moon
Right.
lit?
The top part is lit,
Like,
and the sun's
it
over
doesn't
here. The sun's over here, and
correct.
it's lit up here.
Yes.
Right.
How is the crescent
Right.
part lit up,
That happens
but
one
the
week every month.
sun's
Every month you'll see that.
down here? So
Yeah.
if I take a spotlight and I shine it in this direction, the whole thing, I should be able to see the whole circle. How is the bottom dark and we just see the top? Which then I started looking at the firmament or whatever you call it. Like the whole reflection thing started, but you know what bugged me out? And maybe I'm getting too far ahead, is the rainbows. Someone said to me, why do you never see a rainbow that's flat ever?
Well,
Why?
not
'Cause a
outside, but
rainbow
inside. If you have a mirror, it'll create a flat rainbow. But the rainbow
sky
is the firmament makes
always
the
curved
yeah.
because it's a reflection
This is
off.
this is the let me go back here. The UN map, which is the flat Earth map, right? And
This
how
is what I like too, where people to see. Why does the UN use that map?
why does the UN use it? Why does the World Meteorological Organization, another controlling entity, use it? Why does the International Civil Aviation Organization use it? And and then it's the flat Earth map. So if you look at all of these, hey, that's good, but that's not good. Okay, like what's going on here?
Right? Like, who says
Yeah,
they are the gods of what is real and what is not? Just like the World Health Organization. Who appointed the World Health Organization as the organization that knows it all and you must
right,
listen? And
right.
that kind of opens the door. What you're talking about, Dave?
Right. The government wants to be on top of God and us. That's not where they belong. They barely belong below us if they belong anywhere at all. Govern is to control, meant is the mind, right? Go ahead.
Bob Marley once said, and I love this quote by Bob Marley: all governments are illegal.
I agree. I totally agree.
You need a
Right?
license for this, a license for that. You need a license to breathe, a license to drink. You need a license to go on the boat. You need a license to build your house. You need a license to put an extension on. You need a license for this. You need a
But
license for that.
if you live on their ball and agree to their rules, then they can do whatever they want. A lie only exists in your imagination. The truth cannot be changed. The truth is the truth and will always be. So if you believe that they have control over you, then they have control over you. Right? Money is a belief system. Their money, the value of their money is belief. If no one believed that money was worth anything, it would be worth nothing. If everyone
Right.
believed that the government was nobody, then we wouldn't even know they exist. They'd be fleas. They'd be like a flea on my ass. Right?
Correct.
Universal
Correct.
Pictures shows the globe, all the movies, right? Why does the world controlling organizations have a flat Earth map, but the movies, which are programming you, are showing a globe, right? And they can't even get it right. Look how the plane is flying perpendicular, right? This plane is flying level. It should be flying flat to the horizon, right? To the equator. They
Right.
can't even get that right. 1927, Universal Pictures came out with the spinning globe as their logo. And no
Right.
one had been to space to see what the Earth was until 1972 when the first photo was taken, and it happens to match perfectly. Crazy.
See, this is to me, I love that point because just like you said, something I asked Dave too, is like, because I landed in JFK Airport, and when I was in JFK Airport, as I was going to baggage claim or leaving, right there, as plain as day, and I think it's also on Grand Central Station, is an entire flat Earth map with the outside ring and everything. And I'm like, why would they have it there? And my friend Dave was like, because they didn't know, they didn't know it was, they put it there because Is that where?
This,
Is
this,
that? Is
this
that
is this is Dallas. This is the TSA area. What are they guarding? They're guarding Antarctica.
and so he said, well, that's because they didn't know it was a globe. But when was JFK built? JFK
Right.
Airport was built many years after. Why would they still have that? Why would they still have that map there? It
George
makes no sense to
George
me.
Bush
Why would you
Airport
keep it there?
with the tree of life at the center, the dome over the top, and the flat Earth
Where is
map.
that?
This is
Where's
the
that?
George Bush Airport. I'm not sure. What is that in Dallas?
No, Houston, I think.
Houston. Okay. And it's a whole flat Earth setup.
I think.
It's fascinating. I just
Yes.
find it fascinating. Does it prove anything? No, it just proves that they're rubbing it in our face. Let's talk
They
about
do show it in your
things
face.
that prove that the Earth is flat. So, if the Earth, let me grab my props. Get a ball, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
cannot see my mouth because I'm behind the curvature, a physical curvature. Zooming in
Yeah.
will not make you see my mouth because it's behind a physical curve. A globe requires a physical curve after a certain amount of distance. This is easy. You're not stupid. Okay? It's
Right.
stupid. All right. So,
I like that shirt. I'm getting that shirt.
so on a globe the size that they tell us it is, with the radius that they tell us, at 3 miles, there's 6 feet of curvature. That means if I'm standing at the edge of a perfectly calm ocean, I can't see
That
the
doesn't make
surface of the water beyond 3 miles. That's how much it is. That's what they say. They say the Earth is too big to see the curvature, but their math says it's 6 feet of drop at just 3 miles.
that I don't know if I've been
You haven't seen
that
that because
alone.
the Earth is flat, right?
No, I know that because like if I could stand there in Long Island, there's
Yeah.
times when I would be at the beach and I could see Connecticut.
I'm
So
in
how mu-
Connecticut. I could see people sitting on the beach over at Eaton's Neck. Okay. It's like 7 miles away. Right. And there would be like 15, 20 feet below the curve. I can see them with my camera right above the water.
So they say how much every
It,
3
well,
miles.
so no, you got to think about it. As you're going off, as you're going out in a straight line, it
Yeah.
drops faster and faster. So it's not 8 inches every mile because that would just be a sloped Earth. It gets faster and faster. And the formula they use, the trolls will come out and say, "Oh, well, that's a parabola." Yeah, it's a parabola after like 2,500 miles. It's not right, but nobody can see that far because of the thickness of the atmosphere. But for anything up to 1,000 miles, 100% accurate, 100%. It actually gives the globe a little bit of the benefit of the doubt for the true equation, but 8 inches per mile squared. So 3 miles, 3 times 3 is 9, times 8 inches, 6 feet, 72. Okay. So here is a guy went out on a, as I said, large bodies of water at rest need to be contained and they lie flat and they freeze flat. So here's a lake and is frozen. Guy's out here. He's got his camera 6 inches off the ground, and he put these lights out here at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles. Now, using their math and giving them every benefit of the doubt with their stupid refraction, 30 feet. This should be 30 feet below the curve, like my mouth was. 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. But for some reason, they all refract up and stop at eye level on the same line. They're all refracting up the exact amount in the middle of the night in the cold without any humidity. They're right there.
Mm.
Or maybe just the Earth is flat and they're lying to us.
What about stars? Like that kind of blows me away too. Like how can I be in one section of the world and see the Big Dipper and then be somewhere
Well,
tens of thousand miles away and I'm looking at the same thing and I'm like, well, how is that possible if we're spinning and shouldn't we see completely opposite of everything? Like
well,
I should be able to see something that doesn't even exist.
there's
And I love when people say they're 3 miles, they're 3 years away. That to me, that was one of the first dumbest things I've ever heard.
hundreds of light years away that was died
Oh,
30,000
God.
years. It's so dumb because light
So stupid.
attenuates, it spreads out and it gets weaker and weaker. As it spreads out, it just gets weaker and weaker. You can't see forever, even through blank space, empty space. But the stars, what we can get into that in a minute, are the distances they tell you are provably impossible to see. I mean, our sun, if it was right next to us, it would fill the entire sky. Move it 93 million miles away, it's the size of a nickel held at arm's length, right?
Mm,
Just like we see
right.
it. Double that distance, it's the size of a pencil eraser. Double it again, it's like the size of a large star. Double it again, it's now 8 times as far away. It's like a tiny star, right? That's basically provable, but that's a light hour away. If 8 times away, 8 light minutes, they say the distance is, the distance light travels in 8 minutes to get from the sun to the earth. At a light hour, it would be a star. At 24 hours, you couldn't see it. So a light day away, you couldn't see it. And we can see stars that are hundreds of light years away. Stupid.
It's so
It's
stupid to
so
me.
stupid.
It's so dumb, and it drives me nuts when people try to like, oh,
Right, right.
you're looking at something 3 years ago. Oh my
Remember
god.
that I was showing you the spinning spiraling galaxy, right? We're traveling. All of
Yes.
the stars are doing their own orbits. So they say 80% of the stars in our galaxy are binary, which means they're orbiting each other as they're orbiting the galaxy. So it's like I threw a rock at a beehive and all these bees are going everywhere. But in all of history, never have 2 stars changed positions due to motion. You know how things change positions? Parallax, right?
Right.
Right. When you move,
Right.
things change positions, right? Things closer you move faster, things farther away move slower. They say, but no 2 stars have ever changed positions, ever. That alone, once you understand what that means that the stars are fixed, they're perfect, they're like angels, and they don't ever change.
Let me ask you this, because I saw this too. Because what some people will ask, like, well, what about how the Earth warms everything on the flat Earth? And again, the flat meaning a globe, not just a disc floating. It's a globe.
Hmm.
You have the top of the Earth, and then the flatness of the land, and then underneath the sun, the way it actually rotates, like goes in a certain circle around the whole thing, like with the seasons and all that. Explain that as far as how the flatness would work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So
you know
so
what I'm talking about?
yeah. So here is on the app. I'll turn the time lapse on. The sun goes around and around and around, and it brings its light with it, and it laps the moon every 28 days. But I don't know. Can you see? Let me make it a little bigger.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Whoops, I can't do that. All right. So this outer yellow line here is called the Tropic of Capricorn, and the inner yellow line is the Tropic of Cancer. So on June 21st, the sun is in here. I'm going to
My
stop it.
birthday.
Yeah, June
No,
20th
it's my birthday.
on the
First day of summer.
solstice. There you go. So on
Right.
the solstice, the sun is close to us in the north. Close, what does that mean? Close means high in the sky. And it's winter in Australia out here. But then in December, the sun's all the way out here and it's far away from us. So it's always lower in the sky. Let me show you an example of what that looks like. So, seasons. So here, so you and I are outside, and your friend Dave is holding a heat lamp directly over you, and you're warm, and the sun is directly above you. That's your summer sun. We'll just call that the Tropic of Cancer, right? And
Okay. Yeah.
so you see the sun directly above you. I see the sun way low in the sky for me. It's still the same height. Then he moves over, keeping it at the exact same height. It now becomes higher in my sky and lower in your sky just because
Mm.
it's farther away. It takes its heat and its light with it. Farther away means lower in the sky. And so if you look at just like when you're looking at clouds, not clouds, street lights, right?
Yes.
Street lights, they get lower, but they're really the same. They're really the same height. I'm trying to find a picture for you.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Like they'll look super low, and then as you roll up on them, like, whoa, I didn't realize it was that. It's
Well,
just like a bridge. Oh, yeah.
yeah. The street lights. Where am I going? Here we go. So here's street lights. They're all the same height, but they're like the ones that are half a mile down the road. You can't see them. They merge into the horizon, right? And the sun does the same thing. It just goes down and merges into the horizon.
Yeah, to me that makes a lot of sense too, because I've done that just in my house, the light alone. But
Right.
these are all the things. This is all. It's fascinating to me. It takes. I Yeah, just go ahead.
All right. So one of the other things, what about boats over the horizon? So we're looking out here. We see the horizon. We think this is Earth curve because that's what we've been told to. But everything merges together. The tops and the ground merge together. The sides come together, and the back comes to the front. People don't even realize that. But as we zoom in here, we're zooming in and we're taking our angle and we're increasing our optical size. And as we increase, all of a sudden we realize, oh, look, there is a boat there. Right? There is a boat there. And we zoomed it back in. It's always there. Now, my finger can't hide that boat, but if I keep my finger here, as the boat gets smaller, it could hide the whole boat. And the boat just disappears into the horizon, but we think it's going below the curve. It's still there. If it was behind a curve, remember the ball in front of my mouth? You can't zoom past it. On a flat Earth, the horizon is optical and physical. On a globe Earth, it's always physical. It's a physical horizon. When I say physical, these waves are physical, land masses are physical. But if everything was perfectly smooth, which rarely ever happens, it just becomes an optical horizon. And it's just our eyes' ability to see. So out here, this is in Illusion, France, and we're looking out 175 miles away is Mount Canigou. At that height, using globe math, the top of the mountain should be over a half a mile, nearly a mile below the curve. And guess what? You can't see it. But remember how the sun migrates in between the two tropics? Twice a year, it lines up between the observer and that mountain. And as the sun moves away, gets lower, let me speed it up here, it goes beyond the mountain and it backlights it. So here is the top of the mountain. The top should be over a half a mile below the curve. But it's all there. Now, the globe argument is, oh, well, the sun already set and the mountain already was below the curve. It's just refracting up. So the sunlight is refracting up through the atmosphere to fool you to think it's still up. And then the dark mountain is refracting up and blocking the refracted sunlight. You're not stupid. It's stupid. Okay? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. You know what? You know how since 2020, comedy kind of has been writing itself for you, right?
Oh,
Dude.
it's been the greatest. And I never thought I'd be talking about the things. I'm just being honest. I never saw myself going in the direction I'm going.
And the heliocentric is endless. Heliocentric, globe model is literally a comedy. It's all comedy. There's so much. I got some really funny things coming up. One last thing on distances. Here is from a mountain, and it's hard to see, but all these mountains are identified back here over 700 miles away. 700 miles away, there's 50 miles of missing curvature. The tops of those mountains should be over 50 miles below the curve. And these mountains over here, which are unidentified, are even farther, right? 50 miles of curvature is missing. Remember my mouth behind the ball?
Yes.
It popped up 50 miles and it's all coming up on this straight line here. Why are all these mountains visible? You know what mainstream science says about this one? They won't even comment on it. They can't. They just pretend it doesn't exist.
Dave, come on now. Trust the science.
Here's a new one. This is from Taboo Conspiracy. Awesome channel. Everyone should subscribe. It has its own button on the app under scientific experiments. And the Knickerbein line of sight system. Knickerbein is what they used in the war to bring airplanes. Where are we? To get airplanes to their location in the dark. And what it was a line of sight signal, and the airplane flies along that signal. If it goes left or right of the signal, it goes beep, 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 beep. And when they get to the center, it's like beep, and they know they're on the line, right?
Yeah.
The problem was it didn't tell them when they were crossing the target. It just kept them on a straight line. So they get another one, and it would cross where they wanted to hit. So when they hear both signals, they know to drop the bombs, right? And the first thing is the Allied command said, you can't do it. It's not going to work. The Earth curvature is going to block it. But then some admiral goes, no, do it anyway. Do it anyway, right? And because Earth curve. So we found one of the transmitters, which is 205 feet above the ground. So it's in Ringsted, and the target was in Monte Gormendi, or whatever it is. And that was at 3,631 feet. At that distance, right, 515 miles, there should be a hidden height of 129,000 feet. That's almost 25 miles. 25 miles behind a curve. But for some reason that they could see that. So the airplane would fly along, beep, 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 and then it would hit the other signal and it would know to drop the bombs because those two signals are going there. There is no Glober explanation for this. There is no explanation. And they can't say refraction. This is what refraction is. Hey, I see that person there, but there's a house in front of them. The house is refracting down and they're refracting up, so I don't see the house, but I see the person. That's what refraction is.
Well, I can wrap my head because I'm dumb as a rock. So I can, when you start talking numbers, I start going, oh
Yeah.
but the thing that's interesting to me is the globe. Okay.
Yeah.
And if we're on this curvature, and this is okay, so if the building is straight up, and as it's curving, and you're like, oh, I can see the top of the build. You shouldn't be able to see the top of the build. You should be able to see it's on an angle by then. Like, it doesn't
their
make
argument
sense
for
to me.
that is that it
doesn't make any sense.
The drop versus the angle, it's more of a drop than an angle, and you wouldn't notice. It's a ridiculous argument. What's going on here? What's going on here? This is in the evening. I'll give you a hint. It's in the evening, so the sun is doing what?
Sunset.
It's setting. It looks like it's going behind the curve, but this is how our eyes see, right? But when we zoom in on this, so now our consumer optics have outgrown their lies, and when we zoom in, here comes the zoom. Ready? We zoom in, we realize it's not really setting. It's going away. We just can't see this space in between here. It goes away. This area becomes opaque, and the sun just goes beyond it like this. And so this area, this line, it looks like it's at your eye level, but it could be thousands of feet above your eye level. Right? So right here, here's the sun going away. I just got a coin on a table here, and the camera is slightly below the table, and it looks like the coin is setting. And at great distances, you can't tell that something is above you, that it's higher than that, right? Let me show you. I think you'll be able to get this, Jim. Again,
one was actually that one I saw a while ago, and that one fascinated me because then I started doing it. I started watching the coin. I'm like, oh my god, it looks like the coin is setting right there.
So here's a perspective grid, right? Everything goes to the vanishing point, right? This is easy. You'll get this. So I got a guy here. Here's his eye level, and I'll put this mountain up in the sky. So let's say this mountain's 3,000 feet above his eyes.
Yes.
Okay. And here's the sun up here. And the sun's just going to go away, just like it did with the building. Now, it just went beyond the mountain, right?
Right.
So now if I go backwards, right, now I can see the sun again. This here is still 3,000 feet above my eyes. Globe or flat. If it, I'm 20 miles back. It's literally just looks like it's at eye level. And as the sun goes away, it goes beyond it again. But my programming tells me that's the horizon of a globe, right? Now, if I put the clouds in the sky, the atmospheric deck, the sun's above that, the sun goes beyond it again. Now, let's look at this line. This line is composed of the top of the mountain, 3,000 feet above my eyes. It's also the atmospheric deck, those clouds, which are thousands of feet above the mountain. So this line here is 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet above my eye line, but it looks... I perceive it as my horizontal eye zone.
Yeah, that is. See, now I'm.
They don't teach us that in school.
Yeah.
Let's look at NASA.
I like this. Let's please look at NASA because I started checking this out a while ago and realizing there's a lot of funky stuff going on.
Who are the founders of NASA? We got Ronald Hubbard, right? Ron Hubbard, founder of Scientology. Walt Disney, a cartoon producer. Werner von Braun, a actual Nazi. Okay. Jack Parsons, right? And an occultist, and Aleister Crowley, the most wicked man in the world. These are the founders of NASA.
Are you serious? I don't think anyone knows this.
Everyone knows this. Not everyone. A lot of people know this. Those are the founders.
I
Right.
can guarantee you my buddies have no clue. I
Yeah.
would love to get my buddy Todd on here. He'll try so hard to viciously fight you on all this. He
Oh.
thinks he's brilliant.
Oh.
Founders of NASA. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Hubbard,
Yeah.
Disney, Braun.
You live in
Wow.
Florida.
Okay.
This is
Yes.
they launch all these rockets, and the first stage comes back and lands on a raft 800 miles off the coast of Florida. No one's on it.
Right.
It's a drone ship, right? Now watch. I'm
Mhm.
gonna show it again. Right? This is the onboard, and these little milk crates steer it, and it's gonna land right on here. And then they always show this, and then quick edit, and it's there. Like I watch this. I can go. Here's the landing pad, and I'm gonna do it this way. Right? Here's the landing pad, and it's coming in. Oh baby, bam! There it is. I landed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so dumb. They're all like that. And by the way, it goes up. There's 300-mile-an-hour crosswinds and everything, but somehow it lands on this ship. It just falls back to Earth and lands perfectly on that ship. And 9 out of 10 times, the camera cuts out just before it lands, and then it shows it landed. And
Right.
how often are the seas calm 800 miles off of Florida? I'd say almost never. But there's never a
Right.
problem. They do these landings all the time. Right. I have a whole barrage, a montage of those, right? So this is a front of a 747, not quite as aerodynamic, but the windows are, you got a little edge here.
Yeah.
Right. But not bad.
Like a
right.
car.
This
Like a
is
car.
the space shuttle. It's got these inset windows, right? There's no car that's less aerodynamic than this. Okay. Look at this thing. And this thing goes, right? It's got this little PVC pipe here. It's got all these square brackets and stuff. This thing goes 10 times faster than the SR-71, right? With this blunt nose. Now I'm going to say something. Does this look like a balloon? Does that look like a blow-up balloon? I'm going to show you something. Here's the space station in the water, and now we're in space.
Right.
Okay.
I've seen those with the green screens.
Right. And you know
and
that they do
floating
yeah.
and being on the strings.
They do all their testing in a pool that has a mock-up of the space station called the National Buoyancy Lab. All right. That's just weird.
Okay. So I want to bring on my two friends here. I'm going to bring on, and I'm not going to say their last name, just to whatever. My friend Dave. What's up, Dave?
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Dave.
We're doing really good. And my friend Dan. Is Dan here too? Okay. Now.
Hey, guys.
Dan, Dave, meet Dave Weiss.
What's up?
And we're just gonna start with simple questions. Now, both of these guys, Dave and Dan, are connected to my friend Greg, who is 100% on your team.
On my team.
I'll call you Flat Earth. 100%.
Okay.
Where Dan is the brother and an engineer. And Dave's really smart too, lawyer. And Dave, what is your education? Your
engineering and law school. So I'm a patent attorney. So I deal with all kinds of different technologies every day.
Okay,
right.
I'm a pretty level-headed guy.
You are.
You're not.
Greg drives you crazy. Greg drives.
He drives
Greg.
me nuts.
He drives you nuts, and he drives his brother nuts. Absolutely nuts. Now, the issue with guys like Greg, our friend, your brother, and me is I just sit and listen, and I go, yeah, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. That makes sense. I'm not going to go into the whole blah, blah, blah. Where Greg also, like, you'll ask a question, and Greg will go, well, what about this? And what about this? So this is why I just want to have this quick forum of asking
I love it.
Dave Weiss. Let's start with Dave, my friend Dave. Let's start with a question with you, and then we'll go to Dan. We'll go back and forth and back and forth. Dave, you go first. What do you got for Dave Weiss? Okay.
So, Dave, I think any discussion, first of all, I lived in the DC suburbs for 20 years. I just assumed everything I heard on mainstream media from the government, I was busy raising a family, so I just assumed what I heard was true. Since I moved down to Florida in the last 3 years, post COVID, I don't know what to believe anymore.
That's a good
So,
place to start.
yeah. I mean, all these theories I didn't even know existed. One of them, though, I have a hard time with is this flat Earth conspiracy theory. So, my first question to you is, how do you explain gravity?
All right, which gravity are we talking about? Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity? I'll help you out. The Newtonian gravity is mass attracting mass, which they've thrown out. Now they say it's the bending and warping of space-time.
Well,
So
that's Einstein's theory, right?
yeah. So which one are we talking about? We're going to talk about mass attracting mass, which is what most people believe.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because right, with a sphere, gravity attracts, everything pulls from the center.
Yeah.
So if you've got a disc, and you're
Yeah,
on the edge and
we're not a
gravity's
disc.
pulling from the center.
Right. We're not a disc floating in space. That's what they want you to believe. You Google flat Earth, you end up seeing you end up seeing a disc floating in space. That's two false models. That's a pizza Earth floating in heliocentric space. Neither of those are true. So they're giving you red or blue. Which one? Well, both of them are connected to the devil. So, on flat Earth, down is down, right? On globe Earth, down is every direction towards the center while you're spinning, while you're orbiting, while you're flying through an infinite space vacuum. So that's a little weird. But there's a thing called electrostatics. This is not a theory. Electrostatics is everything from the air you breathe, the food you eat, your body, yourself, rocks, everything. Everything has an electrostatic charge. The Earth has a negative charge to it, measurable, testable, repeatable, provable, negative charge to it. And the sky is a positive charge. So anything above the Earth, hey, by the way, Jim, this is the most technical we're going to get through the whole thing, but it's really easy.
Okay.
It's really easy.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep it easy. So we can test that. So we can take things like, I got these helium balloons here left over from a party, and there's just a button right here, and it's floating like 2 inches above the ground. And this line, that wire, goes to a Van de Graaff generator, and we're going to introduce a higher positive charge to it. So when we add a positive charge to it, all of a sudden, it's more attracted to the Earth. Am I changing the gravity, or am I changing the electrical charge to it? Right? And then when we discharge it, it goes back up. Now, we can do the same thing with a negative charge. You put a negative charge into something, and it repels itself from the Earth. Are we changing gravity, or are we just changing the electrical charge? This is a drone from MIT. It looks like a bunch of milk crates. And there's no moving parts, and it flies just by changing its electrostatic charge. The XRT-3B, that triangular secret aircraft. You could look up. It's disclosed information that it lifts and propels using electrostatics. One last thing about electrostatics: they tell us electrostatics, which is testable, measurable, repeatable, modelable, and we can experiment with it. Is 10 to the 39th power stronger than gravity. 10, that's 1 with 39 zeros. Your mind isn't capable of fathoming the difference in that. A trillion is unfathomable, and that's only 15 zeros or 12 zeros, okay? And this is 10 to the 36th power. So if gravity was real, and electrostatics already are real, gravity is a theory, electrostatics is not a theory, 10 to the 39th power, what makes things go down? Electrostatics is the answer.
And may I just say this real quick? For a lot of people like my friend Dave, this is when people say flat Earth, this is what they're referring to, like a globe. When at Christmas time and they have all the globes and you shake them. So what they're saying is, this is Earth, okay? Earth is, but the Earth part is flat. So This is flat. Rather than we consume all this, we consume this. And when you look from above, I don't know this. I'm just saying, here's America and Africa.
Let me show you right here. This is from above. Right. And then, so all of this area out here, this is Antarctica. This is the shoreline of our pond. Large bodies of water at rest need to be contained, right? If you had a bathtub but didn't have the side of a tub, the water's gone. You didn't have the side of a pond, of a lake, the water's gone. If you don't have the side of the world oceans, the water's gone. It's not on a ball spinning in a space vacuum, which is a whole nother problem. This is just the shoreline of our land. And check this out. Guess what? If you average all of the land heights of all the continents, Antarctica is more than twice as high as any other continent. Antarctica is the shoreline of our world's oceans. It is what keeps the waters contained in our world pond.
Okay. I want to get to Dan. Dave, do you have anything on what Weiss just said? Flat Earth, Dave? Like,
Yes. One
okay.
more question.
And then I want to ask Dan, because Dan's got I see his face starting to be like, what are you? So go ahead.
So Dave, regarding Antarctica, people talk about how, we've never seen what's inside of Antarctica. They have to piece together satellite photos of Antarctica to get a full mapping of the continent.
Mm-hmm.
But the flat earthers, you can fly from Chile to the South Pole. It only takes about, I think, 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that's actually not true. But no one's ever gone from Chile to the South Pole and then to Australia. They always double back because on a flat Earth it doesn't work. On a flat Earth, let me just go back to here. So Santiago, you can fly out to here. Oh, you're at the South Pole, and they only take you to a ceremonial South Pole, or there is a South Pole station, but you'll never be able to go there. It's off limits. Everything beyond this purple line, 60 degrees south, is off limits to anybody to independently, freely explore. No one's ever gone here and ended up over here. No one's ever done that. People circumnavigate circular. They go around the North Pole. Let's talk about circumnavigation for 1 second. This will help bring it together. Circumnavigation. Hold on. Where is it?
But couldn't you explain that the majority of the population is in the northern hemisphere?
Well, you could say that, but nobody has ever flown from Santiago south. Now, check this out. I got a compass here. I have a magnet at the center. That's where the North Pole is. And I'm pushing the compass west, but I have to keep turning west because my compass always has to point towards the center. So west will bring me right around the Earth, right back to where I was, right? East will do the same thing right around because the compass is always going to point towards the north. Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west, right? This is going east. I'm following 90 degrees east. And if I follow my compass, I think I'm going in a straight line, but really I'm just making a circle. Now, if I try to dead reckon west, so that's west, the stick is pointing west. As soon as I start moving west, watch what happens. The compass turns and I'm heading south, right? South is every direction away from north. 0 people have ever gone south and then come back to the north. You can go south to the north and then to the south, but you'll never come back north again. No one's ever done it. It's weird. It's weird. You got to admit it's weird.
Okay, let's try Dan. Hey, Dan. Now, just real quick,
Jim.
your background.
Hi, Dave and Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Hey,
You're
wait,
also an engineer.
let me
correct?
just throw one last thing in there. The people will claim that there was a flight, a circumpolar flight, and basically, if you look at this map here, they went from the North Pole down through America, South America. They went down to the South Pole, supposedly up by Madagascar and around. And they said they circumnavigated the globe, but if you look at it on a flat Earth map, all they did was this. That's all they did. Okay, go ahead.
So Greg
Dan.
Greg has pulled out maps like that and shown me and said certain things. You have to
Greg's your brother.
you have to first agree that when you us stuff, it's true, and I can't say it's provable or unprovable.
You can go verify everything I show you. Everything I'm showing you, you can go verify.
Again,
Okay.
True, but I haven't sat there like my brother brings up
Sure.
a valid argument. I haven't talked to them, all that. Anyway, so
Sure.
I had a question there, and then I watched you do the magnet thing, and every other direction is south, you said.
Yep.
Okay, so then we run into Antarctica, which is an ice barrier, and truthfully, I didn't do a whole lot of research on you, Dave. I got tied up in you versus Professor Dave.
Professor Dave, by the way, isn't a professor. He's a failed musician, and everything he said has been completely debunked. I have entire playlists. I have
know
entire playlists
he was
just
kind of
taking
a
apart,
tool, but
taking
I don't
apart
even know
everything
who
he's saying.
any of you
Yeah,
are talking about.
Good for you.
moderating
Good for you.
and, doing the fact. I don't know why it entranced me so much, but that ended up being the bulk, the only thing I actually did, because I found that guy's laugh so entertaining, which is weird, but I
Yeah.
did that. So
And
what
that's what
is
Google will serve you every time you search flat Earth. They'll serve you Professor Dave and these other paid, propped up algorithmic shills. They will never give you the good information. That's why I created that app, which I'll tell you about in a little bit, and which bypasses all of the censorship. Go ahead. Sorry.
all right? So I had not seen or heard what you said there about you're not floating in space on a disk with a dome, or even have the thing that looks like a mushroom, a cap floating out there. So I guess my question leads me to believe is you run into Antarctica, which you said is, I have to take your word for it, that it's higher elevation to keep everything in. What is beyond that? Where are we? If we're not floating in a universe that God created for us, and
Mm.
you can argue or not argue about what is beyond that expanse. I don't actually care. What When we hit Antarctica, then what? And where the hell are we?
So here's the thing, and this is where this actually causes a lot of controversy in the flat Earth community, is when people start speculating what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. And I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. But we don't know. But we don't need to go beyond Antarctica or higher than we can actually go to prove the Earth is flat. I have tons of proof, which I'm going to be showing Jim in a little while. That absolutely 100% prove there is no curvature. If something doesn't curve, then it's what? If something doesn't move, then it's what? And the answer is flat and stationary. All right. And so what's beyond Antarctica? There's a lot of books and a lot of information about other lands beyond Antarctica, which is fascinating stuff. And to me, there's a lot of evidence. I think there's more land beyond Antarctica. I think there's hundreds of other continents, if not thousands, if not millions.
Flat Earth, Dave, can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
And again, everything, a lot of stuff I see on the internet, a lot of stuff I see in other places. I feel like in the two things. In the encyclopedia, which was our first kind of go-to, they mentioned flat Earth in one of the encyclopedias. And the other thing is, I don't know if this is a fact, but some of the diseases they put out there that have roamed our Earth are actual, or hurricanes are actual names that have been named outside of the Arctic Circle, meaning whatever Ananuki Island is here and this is there. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass, but there's where they know about the land. They've been, for whatever reason. I saw some Saudi Arabia guy going, beyond that land is where we get all our resources, and it goes on and on and on, and they've been lying to us forever. Yeah, like so. But I don't know if you ever, if any of this is clicking, you go, I know what you're talking about. If not, no big deal.
So can I take 2 minutes and show you something that is very interesting to me? So you can go on these ship tracking websites, okay? And here's some ships, and we found a ship 730 miles inside the shoreline of Antarctica. How did it get there? At 730 miles, it's almost 2 miles above sea level, because Antarctica, remember how high it is? And then we found another one 905 miles in, and that's over 2.37 miles above sea level. So, like, well, what the heck is going on there? And if you look at how this is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple, supposedly 10 centuries old. It was published in 1910 in a Florida newspaper, and it's showing all of these continents out here. Like, what is going on here? So let's just take this to the next step. And so here is. So when we clicked on one of those ships, it had very little information. Normally you get tons of information, where it's going, how long it's at sea, when it's arriving. All it says, it was registered into the nation of Kiribati, it's pronounced. And it was 850 meters long, which is a gigantic ship, 80 meters wide. So where's Kiribati? It's out here in the middle of the ocean. I had to put a pin on it. It's literally a sandbar. Right? And America, China, Vietnam, all these countries say, oh, it's a very, very important trade route. It's a very important trade route. Why would a giant ship have to stop at this sandbar to be a trade route? Okay. So that I find very interesting. So let's just go a little bit farther here. So if we look at the ships that are all at that dock and we click on them, it's hard to see, but I'll tell you what they say. All of their destinations say unknown or Christmas Island. Now, some people say Kiribati, they call Christmas Island. Some people say it's another place. It's weird that they all have the same destination or unknown. And it's very, very, very interesting. So I'm not going to get into the whole thing. They used to do a lot of nuke testing there. If you know anything about nukes, that's just another thing to keep people away. But if we look at time zones, right, on a ball of globe Earth, North Pole, South Pole, you got 24 lines dividing the Earth up into 24 time zones. As the Earth spins, the sun travels through the time zones, and you have all of your time zones. But Kiribati was in this weird spot. Let me zoom in. It's right here. Now, this time zone zigzags all over the place. How does that work on a spinning ball, right? Why? There's 3.5 time zones here, right? And Kiribati is, I would call it, in the most suspicious spot, right? So if we look at time zones, there should be 24 time zones, but there's 19 time zones in the north, 24 in the middle near the equator, and there's 32 time zones in the south. Well, if you tried to wrap that map around a ball, you'd have to squish this down, right? Why are there 32 time zones in the south and 19 in the north if we're a symmetrical ball, right? And so here's what I think is going on. And this, again, this is not needed to prove the Earth is flat. If this was the world, right, they squished it all around. So everything outside this line here, they say, oh, that's just Antarctica. It's a continent at the bottom of a ball, right? But what if there was a trade route and it looked like this? Here's Kiribati, and it goes out, and these ships are going out here to these other civilizations. Where do we get our computer ships from? Where are we getting all our tuna fish from? Where are we getting, maybe they're trading children, weapons, technology. We don't know. We don't know. And the thing is, you can't say, well, that can't be. You didn't ever hear about Kiribati until just now. You just never even thought of this as a possibility because the controllers did a fantastic job. They made it so flat Earth is something that you can't even question, don't have any interesting questioning. And, and nobody wants to go to the South Pole or the North Pole because we're all programmed with National Geographic shows showing the guys going to the North Pole, freezing their butts off. They're running out of food. They're eating their dogs, right? Then they get there and it's dark and cold and there's nothing there. That is to program you. So you never say, I want to go to the North. I think there's lots of interesting stuff in the North and more interesting stuff in the South.
Bro, I am with you too as far as programming with the especially National Geographic and all that.
Oh yeah.
Now that I'm waking up and I can see things for what they are, for the first time in my life, I love the show Planet Earth. I noticed two things. It is, but I noticed two things they pushed.
The ball,
climate change nonstop.
Yep.
Climate change, they always say, and one day the bird may not exist because of climate change. And one day this or that. So I get that. It's nonstop climate change. Meanwhile, Plymouth Rock is still where it's at. The other thing that blows my mind was they were pushing a gay agenda. And I'm telling you, I'm on the flight and they sold the fact that this bird would attract another bird and he does his little dance and then the other males come and they kind of fight him and then the bird is and then he ends up with another male and it's like, and he lives the rest of his life. And I'm like, how can you say that the bird is gay and he stays gay for the rest of his life? Is Planet Earth studying the bird for the last 40, 50 years? Like, that was the most absurd, disturbing comment. But when you're under hypnosis and you're watching, you don't question it. I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, and gay. And the way they explained it was, for some, it's better to be gay than to be lonely, which, again, I have nothing against gay people, but to say that on planet Earth about a bird, I went, they're programming. That's total programming what they're saying. If a child is watching, oh, I guess I can, but yeah, I'll do that. Like that. The point is, It was the first time I started realizing
Right.
how many things are actually there to program you, to lure you in with the beauty, and then go, climate change and, birds could be gay.
Jim,
Like, what?
people are, we're born as trusting beings, right? I trust everybody until they burn me, right? And that could be to my own
Same.
detriment. But
Same.
if I didn't trust, I don't want to live in a world where I can't trust people. So I assume you're a good person until, my senses tell me otherwise, or until you absolutely burn me. Think about this. In school, if you want to get A's, you have to memorize and regurgitate perfectly. If you question or challenge, you don't get an A. You get sent to the principal's office. You get suspended, right? You get demonetized.
Or you get a drug, or you get told that you have ADHD and
Yeah.
they have drugs
And they
for
drug you, right?
to make you pay attention better.
And the Rockefellers took over the education system, I think in 1901. And they made it so all schools are underfunded, right? We can buy jets, for billions of dollars, but you want to buy books, you have to have a cookie sale, and then the only books available are the ones that they control, and they sell them at 1/10 of what they cost to make, so nobody can ever compete. Like, hey Jim, let's put our own textbook together. It's going to cost us $50 a book or $20 a book. Well, the school can buy them for $5, so they're not going to buy our books ever, and that's how they control the information.
Okay, so Dan, do you have another question? Or are you good?
No, I do.
All right, I want to hear it. Okay.
You guys were interesting, touching on different topics because you
Yeah.
started going on climate change and all that. When I popped on earlier, you guys were talking about the moon landing, or I would lean towards Dave here with the fake bullshit there. But one thing I can't, and maybe Dave's probably heard this before, I get why they try to control information or give us different information on other things. It's about money, power, control, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Rockefeller. It's why they destroyed all the, holistic medicine and all that, and created all the pharmaceuticals and whatnot. Why would the model of being a flat Earth versus globe? What is the whole why?
But so that's why I said.
Why are we being lied to? Let's just assume everything you're saying is true, right?
Why the lie?
Why the lie? Yeah.
Why the lie?
So we'll jump there and we'll get back. And what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday. We're all programmed to say that. Well, guess what? I don't even know what day of the week it is today because I don't have to go to work on Monday. All right, but I work my ass off more than before, and I've never been happier. Why the lie? Because if they can convince you that you're spinning out of control, lost in space, where we're running out of food, we're overpopulated, we're running out of fuel. All of this crazy stuff is going on. You're insignificant. You come from pond scum. And you've just evolved. Let me tell you a cool story. Once upon a time, there was nothing. It exploded and became everything. And then everything started turning into perfect balls, into perfect orbits. And then lightning struck and created an amoeba, which is impossible. And that amoeba turned into a fish. And then the fish grew legs and climbed out of the water and found another sexy fish with legs and had a monkey. And that monkey climbed a tree and had a human. And that's, where Jim and I came from. Okay. So, if you believe that, you are disconnected from reality. And you could be convinced of anything. You look at a little kid. He's out there playing in the playground. He knows that the playground is not spinning and whirling and twirling, right? He sees the sky, the sun and the stars and the moon move across the sky. He sees that, but then he goes to school and they go, oh, no. They're not moving. You're spinning, right? You're spinning and whirling and twirling and chasing the speeds, right? We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. So when you watch the sunset, beautiful sunset, you're down at the beach, right, Jim? You're in Florida watching the sunset, and the sun isn't just moving away like it appears and sinking into the horizon. You're falling over backwards faster than a friggin' bullet, faster than the speed of sound. Okay, that's how the sun sets on a ball Earth. You're on the top of the ball and you're falling over backwards. You're also orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour. Funny number, right? You're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles.
Whoa! Slow down. What was the number?
66,600 miles an hour, right?
I never picked up on that.
Wow. It gets worse than that. So we'll just sidestep that for a second because there's a million of these things, right?
All right.
It's here. This is the one will be easier to see. Where is it?
Interesting.
The 6 times 6 times 600 is the circumference of the Earth, 0.66 inches per mile, 66.6 thousand miles per hour. 6 times 6 times 60 is the diameter of the moon. And there's 100 other ones. Weird. Okay. Why? What does that mean? I don't know. It's just weird. I'll just say it's weird. Right.
Number of the beast with hell and fire. Thank you, Iron Maiden. I learned more about history from the band Iron Maiden than I did in school. Six, the number of the beast. All right, go ahead.
So guys, listen to this. Listen to this. So we're moving at all of these speeds. So let me just put that into reference. This is called the hypersonic sled track. I got no sound here, but if you look it up, hypersonic sled track, the sound is shocking. Right? This is a rocket sled run by NASA. It goes by a Mach 8.6 times the speed of sound. Right? Watch it. Ready? Can't even see it. You can't fathom what that speed is. Well, guess what? The big, rocky, lumpy water ball surrounded by perfectly curved, smooth water, surrounded by air adjacent to a void, which is impossible, right, is moving 10 times faster than that around the sun and chasing the sun 100 times faster than that. So it's moving in two directions, 10 times and 100 times faster than this. But when we go out in nature and let our senses do the talking, we see stuff like this, right? What do your senses tell you, right? Go in a car, 100 miles an hour, perfectly smooth road, best car ever, great suspension, get a dinner plate, fill it with water, and have that car speed up or slow down and take the slightest turn off that tangential speed. What happens to the water? Okay? Does it stay like this? This is stationary. The Earth does not move. The speeds are incomprehensible, right? Incomprehensible. A bullet, okay? A rifle bullet the orbit of the Earth is 30 times faster than a rifle bullet. Okay? 230 times faster than we chase the sun. We're chasing the sun 230 times faster than the bullet. Right? But we're out here and this International Space Station is not only matching all of those speeds of the Earth, the International Space Station is not floating in space. Did you know that? It's falling towards Earth, but it's moving forward so fast that it keeps missing the Earth because the curvature of the Earth. Right? There's gravity up there. People think, oh, there's no gravity in space. No, there's gravity, but an orbit is, as you're falling, if you fall a mile, the curvature drops a mile. So you match that speed, but the Earth is corkscrewing through space, and somehow all of this stuff magically follows that. When I show you some of the screw ups on the space station, wires, green screens, augmented reality, one of those is enough to go, okay, they're lying about space. That's it. But I could show you 1,000.
You know, it's fascinating to me what you just did with like the oceans. Oh, why is there a tide? Okay, what you just showed me, that's fascinating to me, meaning there's lakes and ponds that are just still.
Yeah.
And if we're really moving, why isn't that water at least wiggling a little bit?
Right. They say that Neil deGrasse Tyson, the high priest of scientism, he says because of the spin of the Earth, the water is bulging at the equator 14 miles high. 14 miles high? How come Africa's not underwater? Okay? At 14 miles high, how come when I take off from Connecticut and fly to South America, I don't have to triple my height just to skim over that mile? You're only 5 miles up, so you'd have to go 15 miles up just to skim over that hump of water at the equator. It's all dumb. It's all stupid, right? You're not stupid. It's stupid. All right?
All right. Any other?
Right. I want to say this one before you guys.
I like this. I like this because the first word, sure, but now I'm excited. Yeah.
Year two, most people by design, they got to work, they got families, they got responsibilities. You got very little time. You need some off time. No one wants to take the time to go look and find out that everything they've been taught is a lie. It's like people just rather not look. I have good friends that just will not look. That's okay. That's their journey. Right? If you want to know the truth, you have to look. Here's the thing. Nobody leaves flat Earth. It sounds like a cult. It's not a cult. Nobody leaves because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it at all.
Dave or Dan, raise your hand if you have another question or all right, go ahead, Dave.
Okay. So I'm thinking about everything that you said. When I was doing a little research before the show, I found a statistic that I thought was really interesting. only 2/3 of people in the age range of 18 to 24 believe that the Earth is a sphere. That means 1/3 of people between 18 and 24 believe in the flat Earth theory.
I don't know.
Now,
I
I
don't.
can't verify those stats.
Neither can I.
But,
Neither can I. But I can tell you that a lot of people are waking up. When I try to
They're
book,
waking up.
when I book shows, people, I have a questionnaire that says, "Is Earth flat? Globe? Don't know." And most people says flat or don't know, which means they're questioning the globe, and
right.
So it's waking up fast. People are waking up.
My question is, stepping back a little bit, do you think that people actually believe in the flat Earth theory, or is it more a bigger distrust of what the government is telling us? Is it a bigger question?
Yeah, that's a good thing. We get accused of that. Oh, you just don't trust the government. Yeah, damn right, I don't trust the government. You know,
I don't either.
One thing Globers get right is they go, oh, you stupid flat earthers, you probably don't believe in the thing that they stick in your arm. And I'm like, you got that right, okay?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not that we don't trust the government, which we absolutely do not. We've actually looked. We've measured the Earth. We've done tests that can't be disproven. We've shown that there is no curvature, that there is no motion. Every major scientific test for axial rotation, means the spinning of the Earth, or to measure curvature, has failed and proven the opposite. Except if you watch Netflix, you'll watch a show, and they're like, oh, the laser experiment proved that the Earth is flat, and the gyro experiment proved that we're spinning. They edited it. It's a hit piece. And if they showed you the rest of it, it actually proved the opposite. And it's amazing that people will just go to that, like, oh, Netflix said it, therefore it's real. But if you actually look, I'm gonna plug my app, not because I'm selling apps, because this is the place to get through the indoctrination. So here, it's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. It bypasses the algorithm.
I got it.
All I tell people is every day there's a featured video right here, and then all the old ones are there. Start with that, or the question mark button. If you hit the question mark button, these are the frequently asked questions. And just like you asked before, hey, what about gravity? We'll get into where does the sun go, which is right up there. And eclipses. And my favorite section is Why the Lie, right here. Why the Lie? Amazing videos, but YouTube is hiding all of these from you. If you don't want to get the app, that's cool. The app's $3. You can just go to my website. All the videos are there. This is just keeps it well organized, and people love it. And it's just a huge community. So the reason I'm telling you about the app is because it'll help you find the information. If you Google flat Earth, you Google my name, you're going to end up with Professor, fake Professor Dave and Simon Dan and these other, algorithms.
Or a headline that says debunked.
Right. There's the button that looks like a spider web, has tons of stuff, but one of them is the full-length videos, and in there is Level, the Next Level, and Level with Me by Sean Hibbler, which you had on, which you've been doing some work with,
Sean's
Jim.
Incredible.
Yeah, yes, and just watch those. Watch those videos. The thing is, they've made it so people won't even look at the information. It's amazing. This button alone is so worth it. And it does a million other things. Books. If you go into the book section, there's more land. My favorite section is more land. But again, you don't need to prove more land to prove the shape of the Earth. That's just me.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
I got an idea. I've got the app. I'm going to download it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show my friend Dave. I'm even going to get it for my friend Dan.
I'm going to give it to all of you guys.
Here's what we're going to do. And here's what we're going to do.
Yep.
We'll come back in a couple weeks,
Perfect.
2 months, 4 months, and see if there's any.
I'm going to sweeten the pot. I'm going to sweeten the pot. Well, I have a standing offer out there: 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. Everyone's motivated by money a little bit. 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. And absolutely, don't try to disprove flat Earth. Prove the globe. I have to warn you: if you take my offer, you will be a flat earther. Because that's the only way to do it, is when you try to disprove flat Earth, you become a flat earther, right? Did you see? This is on here. We have a social media thing. This is the friend finder. These are just the flat earthers near me. Ready? It's loading. There you go. These are the ones just near me. If I look at it
What do you
worldwide,
mean they're near you? How do you know that? Like,
tho-
what is that?
that's a
Those are
that's a map. It's
those
a
are
map.
people that.
Look, this is here's Long Island, right? We're out here.
Yeah.
All of these
Yeah.
people have my app, and I could look at profiles,
Oh.
and I could talk with them. I could video call with them. I could do
Oh.
groups and all sorts of stuff. But if I look at it worldwide, Jim, check this out. This is, and by the way, I say that 0.1% of the flat earthers have my app, maybe even less. Okay, this is just the people that have my app. Look at this, right? This is
What?
These are the people that have this app. Why is flat Earth so big? If the Earth was a globe, there would be 0 flat earthers, right? The UK, look at the UK, you can't even see it anymore, right? This is this is the biggest awakening ever. Why does it matter? Because when you wake up to flat Earth, you unplug from the system. You stop feeding the matrix. You stop feeding the global control, right? So here it is. And your wife will love this too, Jim. Is
I don't know. I wanted to bring her on, but
No,
she doesn't want to be
but
on.
she'll love this. She'll love this because we're born into God's world. We inherited God's world, and the God's law, very simple. You don't have to go to school. Don't kill anybody. Don't get in anyone's face. Leave them alone. Mind your own damn business. Okay? You know, I'm sure you can sum it up a little differently.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind to one another, and don't, interfere with anyone else's free will. That's it. Now, if the governments admit that the earth is flat and that we're in God's world, they can't make any laws. They can't make any laws that go against that. So they put you on a globe, a finite area, and they say, okay, and they register you at birth with your birth certificate, and they say, okay, use this fiat currency, and now you're in their system. If you play on their ball field, you have to play by their rules. You play with their fiat currency, you're controlled by them. So when you wake up to the truth of our world, you literally unplug from this. You see through the lies. You stop giving them your energy, and you get closer to the creator. Jim, you go into the woods to get closer to the creator. Me too. Okay. Your wife, she goes to church. Great. Everyone has their own way to have their relationship with creation. And we are here provably in a created world. I believe in evolution. I believed in all of the nonsense. I believed that, lightning struck and it came out of a frog's ass. And then I discovered that this place is intelligently designed. What does that mean? It's intelligently designed. There's a creator. I have no choice. Here's the number one reason, in my opinion, why they hide the flat earth. Because if you see the flat earth, you no longer can deny creation. In the globe earth, you could say, oh, God created this great expanding universe, expanding 1 billion miles per second in every direction. Or God created this special place for us. But you in the flat earth, you have no choice. There's a creator. And I think there's some Bible verse that says, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. That's why they're hiding creation from you.
All right. Are you guys up for this? Can we revisit, Dan?
Definitely.
We're gonna get you the app.
Yep.
Okay.
Just give me their email addresses and I'll send it right over to them. I just need to
Send
know
the
Apple or Android. No problem.
Because I want to check it out too, and I'm all in on even just going to Africa, just going in the woods. There's a great movie I watched. I don't know if it's called the Biggest Little Farm. I don't know if it's the Smallest Little Farm. Mike, are you able to look that up? And is that what it's called? The Biggest Little Farm, the some little farm. And why I loved this movie is because and going to Africa and going to all the places in nature, because you see how the soul and the spirit lives in everything: the tree, the frog, the grass, the cow, the thing, and everything exists to help there it is, The Biggest Little Farm. I highly suggest just to check this out. Just watch it. Not so much for the storyline's incredible, and it's true. It's a National Geographic guy and they decide to just make a left turn and live life differently and get a farm. But when you see the incredibleness, like we're into the world of, if you're gonna have a farm, you got to spray this pesticide, and when you spray this and you put chemicals in. When you watch this, life figures, well, this beetle exists for this thing, and this thing exists to take care of the beetle, and this thing exists for, and it's just no one's teaching you that as a child.
Right.
As a
It's
child,
amazing.
we're stuck in a cubicle, we're stuck in a classroom. It looks like prison. You're indoors, you're watching outside. It's unnatural for human existence to do that.
Yeah.
However, we've been living since the beginning of time because this is what we were born into, just like a lab rat.
Yep.
A lab rat stays there, and if he's there for 40 years, 50 years, and you take away the cage, he ain't going to leave that section. No, rat, you can go over there. They don't know. They've been, I don't want to. Just like us,
Yep.
we don't know, or we fear the unknown, and we don't want to admit we've been lied to, just like your wife's been cheating on you, or someone's been doing this to you, or your brother's been stealing from you for years. Not you, Dan, or not you, Greg, but like it's so hard to accept
Right.
being lied to, especially when it's your government, your education, and they use all these words to empower us. I have a family member. If this person says the word smart one more time, we make a joke when we go over their house. We're like, let's do over and under how many times they mention the word smart, because that is their idol. That is I am smart, and this is smart, and that's smart, and it's, well, what is smart? The smartness of what you've been told, regurgitated, and
Exactly.
you said yes, I copied and learned everything you showed me. Does that make you smart? I don't know. But
No.
what happens is when you become smart, what they've taught us is that you're better and you know more. And that's where I can really dig into. I'm all about nature and common sense. And that is what's going to get, natural instinct and all that. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you a million.
Boys, I'm going to send you the app. I
Okay.
just want you to, I probably don't have a ton of time. Just while you're having your morning coffee, watch the featured video each day. And in 2 weeks, you're going to have a big problem because you're going to lose half your friends. You're going to lose your friends and family. But you'll be on the road to a better world.
Well,
Thanks, Dave. Great talking to you.
Thanks, man.
Dan.
Thanks,
Dan
Dave.
and
Nice
Dave,
meeting you.
thanks a million. We'll catch up 2 months from now, 3 months from now, because
Sounds
I do
good.
want to see, and I want people to know, like, you guys aren't from the media. Like, you're in my circle.
Believe
So
nothing,
this is
research
real
everything.
people. Correct.
Verify
so we'll
everything.
see where you're at, and I'm not trying to convince you. I love the open forum of all of us talking, and I also wanted to help Dave and Dan, because Dave's friend Greg and Dan's brother Greg absolutely drives them nuts, and of course they're never going to believe him because, like,
I love him.
What do you do? I can't take it seriously. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys. Thanks
right.
for joining. You're welcome.
Thanks,
to listen
guys.
to it.
Have a great day, guys.
Hilarious.
Hey, we can go for another 3 hours, or we can call it
Dave.
quits here.
Dave, I need a break.
Me too.
I need a break. Please tell me. I'm downloading this app because I'm going to turn this on to people, and that's the best way to do it.
Use
Download the app.
referral code
Ask-
Breuer.
Thank you for doing that. That's
Yeah.
very kind of you, Breuer. So
Breuer.
if you download the app, explain the whole app so we
So
know
the app,
exactly what's going on,
I'll tell you real quick.
Breuer.
Yeah. It's called the
How
Flat
do we
Earth
do
Sun,
it?
Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. They're already hiding it in Google Play. It'll deliver you the wrong one. Just go to flatearthdave.com. The link is right there. There's a direct download for Androids if you don't want to use the Google Play Store, Apple and Android. Featured videos every day, archive videos, frequently asked questions. It's got a social media thing on there. It's got a dating app on there. It's got a meetup maker. It does all sorts of stuff to bring people together. And basically get the information that's hidden from you. If you're unsure, just look at it in the App Store, read the reviews. Just read the reviews and then don't buy it. The app's $3. For some of the if you want to do the communications, if you want to be able to use the profiles and stuff, there is an $11 a year subscription, but you can get a free subscription just by referring the app to other people. But to get the information, it's just the $3 app, one-time charge.
One-time charge.
One-time charge. It's easy. It's got Old World. Like if you hit the Griffin button, we have Old World stuff. We have My Lunch Break. Are you following him? I'm sure you are, right? Or maybe not.
I'm not.
Maybe
I don't follow it. It's very hard for me to follow people.
it's fun, really fun stuff. Fun stuff. It's got
Okay.
image search. It's got everything on it. Like if you want to like, if someone says, "What about sun under clouds?" You type in "sun under," and here's
Clouds.
pictures of the sun under clouds lighting up the tops of the clouds, proving that the Earth is flat. Not getting into all that. Just check it out. My website has the information. Don't believe anything I've told you. Go verify everything. But if you just don't want to, you can just continue living your life as you are. But this brings you closer to seeing reality. I'm never bored. The world is super fascinating. And they're hiding our true power. They're hiding our true ability. They're hiding the fact that our thoughts create our reality. And Jim, everything in your life is because of the way that you think. Think about before you were on SNL and where you are now. You brought all of that into existence. You did it
Yes,
with your
100%.
thoughts.
Yes.
So
I
they don't
know.
want
And
you to know that.
I'm all in on the ability of our power to heal, to inspire, to create incredible energy for one another is it's a superpower.
It's
And
amazing.
people don't understand it because you've never been taught it. You've been sent into prison. I'm sorry,
Right.
school.
Right.
And you were sent in education because they do even with entertainment, NASA, all of media is 24/7 to distract you, to look at, oh my God, look at all my channels. Look at all this. Because when you discover your true form, the governments and all, they don't want you to have that, because that's when the beauty of life will be so empowering. And you'll realize you don't need any of this. You don't need any of it. So, Dave, I can't thank you enough, man. I loved seeing you at the Paramount. I'll see you at the Paramount November 9th, Long Island. And we'll talk about, before then, we'll get our friends on. And I'll invite whatever friends want to come on, please.
Awesome.
But not until you download that. You got to look at the app or know someone that looks at the app. Don't come on and ask the same questions. I want all people, and I'd love to get my wife on. Just listen. What's the big deal? If you're willing to listen to that nonsense, what is it giving you? What is NASA giving you that you're so convinced on? And so, like, what is the big deal to question and go, maybe it's not a go? What is the big deal? What is the big deal?
On my website, flatearthdave.com, if you scroll down, you see a big picture of me. It says Crash Course. Click that, and there's a list of documentaries, including Sean Hibbler's Level with Me and The Next Level. Just start watching those. I have the challenge is, if you just watch 3 of those, and you're screwed. You're finished. It's over. The globe is dead. The globe is over.
Man. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you talking to my friends. And I hope we get to do this again. And I'll talk to you long before that, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate you,
Thanks,
Dave.
Jim. See ya.
FlatEarthDave.com, everybody.
Thanks.
Woo! Holy bonkers. I've really Eddie Bravo first got my attention, and I saw other videos. But what I love about Dave Weiss, or FlatEarthDave.com, is he really puts it out there. Like you can just the way you can go, well, look up this book about the planets and it. Well, you're going to believe proven liars? You don't have to believe Flat Earth Dave. You don't have to. But you can't deny that there have been major lies throughout your life. Your news is lies, your government lies. It's nonstop lying. Your history's a lie. And we are in the middle of an incredible conscious awakening worldwide. It was amazing to be in places like Tanzania and South Africa, and they're all talking about the same thing. That's what blew my mind too, when you have someone in a completely different country, in a completely different upbringing, completely different faith, and they're talking about a lot of the same things, and it's pretty incredible. I love it, man. Anyway, I wish you all an incredible week. Check out that app. I mean, it's what is it, $3 for the year? See, he wants to do it. I like that, man. I like that, man. What's it? You're willing to pay $10, $15 to watch Netflix with half the propaganda they're selling you there, or whatever network you believe in? How much money are you paying for that? I'm just saying. I want to thank Dave for coming out today. It was an incredible time. And if anyone has any questions, just go to flatearthdave.com, and we'll catch you next week on the Breuniverse, man.
Take a look around and what do you see? Mark the date down tonight, we'll make it history.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concert streamed once a month. Early access to the Breuniverse podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.